couple storms go through the Rose Creek, Adams, Johnsburg, into Meyer and McIntyre area that included a lot of heavy wind and heavy rain. And as you can see, we got a little bit of a mess on our hands. So we're going to talk about what caused this, what we're dealing with issues on this corn for the rest of the summer and beyond, and some things to kind of watch out for. So you can see this corn here is lodged, root lodged. We had an 80-mile-an-hour burst of wind go through here about 5 o'clock on Saturday night, and it was pretty steady, pretty hard for quite a while. You can see that these brace roots just ripped right out, I pulled a couple of them out of the ground, but you can see the ground gave away with the water or the moisture that we had and just flattened it. For the most part, I think we came out pretty good. It's mainly root lodged in here. I'm not seeing much for green snap, if anything, which is a good sign to see. Now, for you guys that don't know what green snap is, generally what happens is it hits one of the top nodes and just snaps right off, right about where the ear shank should be, and then that plant just basically fizzles out as we go. So good news, we're not seeing much for green snap in this field, which is a good thing, but we are going to have some issues out here. One of those reasons, our pollination window is getting pretty close. You can see we have one leaf left before the pollen starts dropping, and you can also see here's our ear shank just starting, and the silks are starting to come out. So one thing we could have issues with down corn like this is pollination. We have to have good pollen shed and good pollen retention for this. We're going to have a few plants, hopefully shaking pollen everywhere else, and hopefully these can catch. The areas that could have some trouble are these areas here where it's a big mat. We could have some pollen issues or pollination issues in these areas here where we maybe put on half the ears, which in the grand scheme of things is not a great thing, but it's going to be what it is. Now obviously this took the brunt of it for this field because this is the edge of our test plot here. As you can see further in, it doesn't look as bad, but it does push into the field a little ways. We're going to see quite a bit of this this year. Seems like the east-west rows maybe took it a little bit worse than the north-south rows just because of the way the plants were kind of oriented. The wind could definitely drive down these a little bit better because it was kind of a west-northwest wind, and that's what we're kind of seeing, everything kind of leaning towards the east. So one of the considerations that we're trying to make right now is what do we do for fungicide out here? When we have this kind of damage, ground rig is going to be darn near impossible. So our option at that point is aerial through an airplane or a helicopter at that point. The other thing will be, what is our expectation for this crop the rest of the way? Well, we got a lot of spots in the countryside with a lot of fields like this that look like this area here. My expectations aren't real high. This is going to be a tough field to combine this fall. We're going to have to be kind of slow and kind of deliberate. The yield's going to be off compared to what we would like to have, but it's going to be what it is. But if you got circles out in the fields like this that aren't that big, I would probably still fungicide because we want to protect the whole yield potential of the whole field, not just the spots that are in trouble. And that lies into the the second thing I was going to talk about. Maybe the best thing to do right now is make sure we got a bird's eye view of these fields. I've done it today and yesterday, a lot of 50-mile-an-hour road scouting. We see what we can see from the road, but we're not seeing the whole field as a whole. So we do have a dedicated person to fly fields at this point. I think it'd be a great idea the next couple days to see once how this stuff is looking across the whole field, not just what's kind of close to the driveway at that point. And from there, we can maybe make better decisions the rest of the way when it comes to fungicide treatments. Now, in the next couple days, some of this stuff will start trying to peak itself up and start goosenecking. this field right here will also need to make sure that this is early on the list when it comes to harvest, because this is going to be kind of an area that could be a little troublesome for stock quality later on. So, like I said, this morning when I was starting to think of this, I was kind of hoping we'd talk about something different, but hey, it's what it is. It's farming in southeast Minnesota. So, got any questions or anything, you want to go look at some fields, give me or any of the other Northern Country Co-op agronomists a call, and you have a great day.